If you're in the market for a new pellet grill, we're about to provide all the information you need to decide whether the Recteq RT-590 Deck Boss is worth your hard-earned money, including what I wish I knew before I purchased mine. Welcome to TGD. As someone who's owned both a Gen 1 and Gen 2 RT-590, I've got unique insights you're not going to find anywhere else. You might be wondering why I refer to them as Gen 1 and Gen 2. Actually, the Deck Boss is the second iteration of the RT-590. The first generation was called the Stampede and had an octagon-shaped cooking chamber. I've done a full review on the Stampede, and I'll link that in the description below if you want to check it out. As we go through the review of the Deck Boss, I'll highlight all of the changes that were made between the Stampede and the Deck Boss and give you my personal opinion on those changes. Most of them are positive, but one of them is a little more complicated. Let's dive in. We're all told not to judge a book by its cover, and that's a load of BS. We buy cars and tech that look cool, and pellet grills are no different. And I happen to think the Deck Boss is a sexy beast with its mix of black paint and brushed stainless steel. It's got these iconic Recteq polished longhorn handles, which are awesome. It also has these really great, super sturdy angled legs. The Stampede had straight, square pipe legs, and they were rickety. The round barrel looks way more stout and high-end than the octagon-shaped design did that was on the Stampede. Now, obviously, that octagon barrel was iconic for the Stampede, but this just looks way more classy. The vents are also an improvement, I think, over the Stampede. My version of the Stampede had kind of oval-shaped cutouts, which let a lot of water in and snow when it rained or snowed here in Minnesota. These louvered designs help protect the inside of the grill a little bit better, and I think they just look classier. On the Stampede, this display was flush with this surface. Obviously on the Deck Boss, it's kind of angled a little bit. This makes it a lot easier to view when you're standing, and I think this little red accent on the control knob here is a really nice touch too. Overall, I think the Deck Boss, it looks awesome. It looks like $1 million. Now, a couple things about this controller here. Again, this is, as far as I've been able to tell, exactly the same controller as was on the Stampede. This unit, the Deck Boss, has built-in Wi-Fi. I've actually always had trouble with that. I had trouble with it on the Stampede as well. But everybody else that I know that owns a Recteq doesn't really have any issues with it, so it could be my home network. It also comes with 2 meat probes that plug in here and snake through this little hole in the side of the cooking chamber. A 30-pound capacity pellet hopper, which is great for a grill in this size and price range. I do wish that companies would standardize on either a 20-pound pellet hopper or a 40-pound pellet hopper, because that's how the pellets are sold, or sell me a 30-pound bag. On the back here, another thing that I think is a huge improvement for me personally over the Stampede is this cord wrap. There was no cord wrap on the Stampede, so I ended up kind of wrapping my cord around this handle, which was annoying. If I'm paying $900+ for a pellet grill, I don't want the cord just kind of jankily wrapped around it when it's in storage. So I think this is actually a really cheap upgrade, but one that makes a big difference. Now we're going to run through some of the features of the cooking chamber and cooking area. First one I wanted to point out is down here they've moved the grease bucket underneath the grill, which I actually think is really nice. It makes the grill look a lot cleaner. It kind of protects this bucket from water and from animals and stuff. I think it's a great feature. Now I'm gonna grab one of these beautiful handles and open this up. One of the advantages I think about this round barrel design is it actually makes it much easier to get further back into the cooking chamber, so you can utilize more of the cooking area in the grill easier than you could on the Stampede. Another difference between the Deck Boss and the Stampede is the Deck Boss has this one complete grate, and they actually give you a tool to remove this in case the grill is hot or something. You can kind of hook this on and slide it out, and it has these, it kind of slides in these little slots on the side, so you can actually pull the grate out and set something on it and it won't tip out. And this is a really nice heavy duty grate, piece. Now this is where we get into some of the things that I don't personally like them. Maybe they won't be a problem for you. I don't know if you can see here, but I've got my drip tray lined with aluminum foil, which I do on every grill that I own, and most people do. And I ran this thing on high, the hottest temperature it would go, for probably 45 minutes or an hour. And it literally burned my aluminum foil. This thing the cooking chamber got up to about 640 degrees, which is awesome. I seared steaks on this thing and it was a searing beast. But I didn't notice until I took this thing apart that it had actually burned my aluminum foil, which, you know, I don't know if there's outgassing or anything as a part of that. And then when I took this apart, I noticed that it actually burned paint. There's paint flakes and caulk that was burned and destroyed in this. I reached out to Recteq about that issue, and they didn't seem very concerned about it. But I'm not that comfortable cooking in something where there might be paint blowing around and landing on the food that I'm going to eat myself or serve to my family. So that's kind of the complicated piece that I mentioned. It's really great that this thing can get up to 600 plus degrees, because it can really sear a steak. It can really sear a steak. I don't really want paint flaking off and blowing on my food. I don't really use this grill anymore because that's a problem for me. One of the things I think they did that was awesome is they made this cast iron heat deflector. The Stampede had a sheet metal one, a kind of a formed heat deflector. And this probably weighs 20 or 25 pounds. This thing is awesome. It distributes heat really well. It retains heat really well. So once this gets warmed up, your grill is going to maintain temperatures a lot easier just because it has a ton of thermal mass. One of the other things I noticed as I was running this thing on high for a sustained period of time is that where the grill chamber meets the stand, this paint started to like melt and bubble. I don't know how well you can see this. And it happened on both the front and the back of the grill. So the only feature that I think this grill is missing that many other grills in this price range have is a pellet dump feature. So you can swap the pellets that are in the hopper for something else, depending on what you're cooking. I don't usually use that feature, but many other grills in this price range have that. Besides that and the paint issues, I think that this is a lot of grill for $900. Is the Deck Boss my favorite pellet grill? No. And if you want to know what that grill is and why, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below so you don't miss that next review. Thanks for watching.